Good morning, student. In the previous class, you have come to know about the generation and the conduction of nerve impulse. So, the next topic in the neural control and coordination is the transmission of impulse. So, in the previous topic, you have come to know about how the dendrites receive the impulse, and that received impulse will be transmitted or it will be carried towards the cell body, and from the cell body it will be moving across the length of the axon. Means here the axon will be carrying the impulse away from the cell body. So once the impulse is received or moving across the axon, so how this impulse will be transmitted from the neuron to one more neuron. So mainly you are studying about the transmission of the impulse from one neuron to another neuron in this topic. So here the nerve impulse, it is mainly transmitted from one neuron to another neuron. So in between the two neurons there will be the formation of the junction, and that junction is called as the synapse. So here in between the two neurons there will be the presence of the close or the proximity area between the axon and the bulb of the one neuron and with the dendrite of the other neuron. So that close or proximity area between the two neurons is only called as the synapse. So here the synapse, it is mainly formed from the presynaptic membrane and the postsynaptic membrane, but this presynaptic and the postsynaptic membrane, in some type of synapse it is separated, and in some we found presynaptic membrane and the postsynaptic membrane are not being separated. But whatever may be the condition, whether the presynaptic and postsynaptic membranes may be separated or may not be separated, but in between these two membranes there will be the presence of the gap called as the synaptic cleft. So these synapses, it is the junction between axon of one neuron and the dendrite of the other neuron. So these synapses, they are mainly differentiated into two types, that is electrical synapse and the chemical synapse. So what is the difference between electrical synapse and the chemical synapse? When you utter or when you say that is the chemical synapse, means in this synapse, that is in the chemical synapse, during the transmission of impulse there is the usage of the chemicals. So in case of the electrical synapse, again during the transmission of the impulse there is the usage of the ions or the charges. Then so clear, let us understand the meaning of the chemical synapse once again. So this chemical synapse, it is the junction through which the impulses are transmitted from one neuron to another neuron with the secretion of chemicals called as neurotransmitters. Then what is electrical synapse? Electrical synapse is the junction through which the impulse is transmitted through the ions or charges. Okay, so there is the difference between the electrical synapse and the chemical synapse. In case of electrical synapse, for the transmission of the impulse they are going to use the charges or the ions. So in case of chemical synapse there is the usage of the chemicals, or those chemicals are itself called as the neurotransmitters. So here I said about the electrical synapse and the chemical synapse, and when we were defining about the synaptic cleft, I said synaptic cleft, it is formed between the presynaptic membrane and the postsynaptic membrane, but these presynaptic membrane and the postsynaptic membrane may be separated or may not be separated, but that gap in between the two membranes is called the synaptic cleft. So in case of electrical synapses, what happens? The gap or the space what is present, it is completely reduced. Means the synaptic cleft, it is reduced. The space in case of the electrical synapse, it is almost 0.2 nanometer. Means the gap which is formed in between the presynaptic membrane and the postsynaptic membrane of the electrical synapse, it is 0.2 nanometer. But in case of the chemical synapse, what happens? The space is more. Means the gap in between the presynaptic and the postsynaptic membrane, it is more. So there the distance is almost ranging from 10 to 20 nanometer. So the electrical synapses, they have a very close proximity with presynaptic and the postsynaptic membrane. So here in case of electrical synapses, what happens? So the space is less, the proximity means they are presynaptic and the postsynaptic, they are very close to each other. That's why the transmission of the impulse from one neuron to another neuron, it becomes very easy. That's why when you compare the transmission of the impulse with the electrical synapse and the chemical synapse, electrical synapses are said to be as the faster than the chemical synapses. But these electrical synapses, they are very rare in our body. So now you can see the diagram of upside. You can see the terminal end of the neuron, that is the axon bulb. Then the down you can see the presence of the dendrites of the other neuron. So upside what you see, that is the axon. Then the cup shape or bulb like structure, that is the axon terminal. Then inside the axon bulb, you know that there is presence of the synaptic vesicles. So these synaptic vesicles, they are consisting of the chemicals, and those chemicals itself are called as the neurotransmitters. Then after that you can see the presynaptic membrane of the neuron, and then the next is the postsynaptic membrane of the dendrites. The presynaptic membrane and the postsynaptic membrane, in between these two membranes there is a gap, and that gap is called as the synaptic cleft. The presynaptic membrane, postsynaptic membrane and the synaptic cleft all together, it is called as the synapses. But here on the postsynaptic membrane, you can see the presence of the receptors. So these receptors, they are called as mainly the chemoreceptors. These chemoreceptors, they are nothing but the special protein molecules. So these chemoreceptors only helps for the neurotransmitters to get bind. Means when the neurotransmitters are released, so those neurotransmitters will be binding to these receptors which are present on the postsynaptic membrane. Now we shall see how the transmission of impulse is going to occur across the synaptic cleft. So in the textbook also they have mentioned about the transmission of impulse across the synaptic cleft with respect to the chemical synapse, and they have not told about the electrical synapse, but I'll try to give the brief account on the electrical synapses also. Okay, so let us see how the impulse is being transmitted in case of the chemical synapse. So we shall see the diagram. In this you can observe upside, that is the yellow color one, it is the axon terminal. Then the down you can see the green color one, it is the dendrite part of the other neuron. Okay, then so in the axon terminal, it is the axon bulb terminal. In that there are presence of the synaptic vesicles. So these synaptic vesicles, they are consisting of the neurotransmitters. Okay, then you can see in the axon terminal, you can see the membrane of the presynaptic, and in case of the dendrites, you can see the postsynaptic membrane. In between the presynaptic and the postsynaptic, there is the presence of the space which is fluid filled, and it is called as the synaptic cleft. Then you can see on the presynaptic membrane there is the presence of voltage gated calcium channels. So I had told when I was telling about the generation and the conduction of the nerve impulse, I said the neuronal membrane or the axonal membrane is consisting of the different ion channels, where these ion channels will be showing the selectively permeable for the different ions. So now on the presynaptic membrane there is presence of the voltage gated calcium ion channels. Then on the postsynaptic membrane there is the presence of the receptors, but these receptors are called chemoreceptors. Why they are called chemoreceptors, I will tell later. But here these chemoreceptors, they are nothing but they are made up of the special protein molecules. Then on the postsynaptic membrane, even it is consisting of the sodium potassium pumps. Is the diagram clear? Okay, then here I had told the axon bulb end, it is consisting of the synaptic vesicles, and these synaptic vesicles, they are consisting of the neurotransmitters. So how many neurotransmitters? What is the amount of the neurotransmitters present in the synaptic vesicles? So almost 2000 to 10,000 molecules of neurotransmitters will be present in the synaptic vesicles. Now, so let us see how the conduction of the impulse is going to occur. Once the dendrites receives the impulse, that will be carrying it towards the cell body. So from the cell body, that information or the impulse will be given to the axon, and this axon will be carrying the impulse away from the cell body. So like that, the impulse has come and it has reached the terminal end of the neuron, that is the axon. So when the axon comes to the axon terminal, these synaptic vesicles, they come near to the presynaptic membrane. So when the presynaptic membrane comes with the fusion of the neurotransmitters, then what happens? The voltage gated calcium ions, so that voltage gates will be opened. So when the voltage gates get opened, so when the neurotransmitters which are present in the synaptic vesicle come near on the presynaptic membrane, so these voltage gated channel gets activated, means the gate of this voltage gated calcium channel becomes open. So this opening of the voltage gate calcium channel makes the calcium to enter inside the presynaptic membrane. Then where these calcium ions were present? See, I have told in between the presynaptic and postsynaptic membrane there is the synaptic cleft, which is air, not air, the fluid filled space. So in that there are presence of the calcium ion. So these calcium ions will move from the synaptic cleft to the presynaptic membrane. So when these calcium ions move from the synaptic cleft to the inside presynaptic membrane, so when the voltage gated calcium channels get open, then only the calcium ions from the space or from the gap, they enter inside the presynaptic membrane. So once the calcium ions enters the presynaptic membrane, so what they are going to do there? So these calcium, when they move inside the presynaptic membrane, they are going to bind to the receptors, but these receptors will be present on the presynaptic membrane. So when these receptors, that is when the calcium ion binds to the receptors which are present on the presynaptic membrane, so the synaptic vesicles will start releasing the calcium, sorry, not calcium, they will start releasing the neurotransmitters. So how the synaptic vesicles will release the neurotransmitters? So here there is one process called as exocytosis. So exocytosis means the release of the particles from the inside of the cell to the outside of the cell through the energy. So that process is called exocytosis. So when the calcium ions from the gap enters inside the presynaptic membrane, so they trigger the synaptic vesicles to release the neurotransmitters. So when these neurotransmitters are releasing, there is the process, the release of the neurotransmitters is occurring with a process called exocytosis. So these neurotransmitters, when they are released, they are going to bind to the chemoreceptors which are present on the postsynaptic membrane. So here why I am calling these receptors which are present on the postsynaptic membrane as chemoreceptors, because what you are studying, the transmission of the impulse, that is mainly it is with respect to the chemical synapse, that is one thing. And the synaptic vesicles, they are going to release the transmitters. So these transmitters, they are nothing but they are the chemicals, the signals which are coming in the form of the chemicals. So these chemicals, they get bind to the chemoreceptors which are present on the postsynaptic membrane. So this is how the impulse from one neuron, it is entering to the other neuron's dendrite. But here when the impulse reaches the axon terminal, so new action potential is generated. So next that impulse will be shifted to the dendrites part of the other neuron. So when this dendrite part of the other neuron receives the impulse, so please now recall the generation and conduction of the nerve impulse. So previous, if the neuron is not conducting any impulse, means that is in the resting state. So resting state means it is the resting potential. So if there is the formation of the resting potential means, so that condition of the membrane is called the polarized. Polarized means outside it is positive charge and inside it is the negative charge. So now when this dendrite receives the impulse from the other neuron, what happens? The charges are going to get changed. Why or how the charges are going to get changed? Because I have told on the postsynaptic membrane there will be presence of the sodium potassium pumps. So with the help of the sodium potassium pump from the synaptic cleft, the sodiums will be moving inside the dendrites. So this influx of the sodium ions will bring the changes with respect to the charges on the postsynaptic membrane. So when the dendrite receive the signal or the impulse, outside it becomes negative and inside the postsynaptic it becomes the positive. So this change in the charges across the postsynaptic membrane, it is called as the depolarized. So the condition of the depolarized is nothing but the action potential is generated. So now from the axon of one neuron, the impulse is transmitted to the other neurons dendrites. Clear? Okay. So here the neurotransmitters. What may be the neurotransmitters? Here the neurotransmitter can be the acetylcholine or even it can be the adrenaline. So here I want to tell one important thing. So what happens when the neurotransmitters are released? Those neurotransmitters will get bind to the postsynaptic membranes chemoreceptors, but these neurotransmitters will be again hydrolyzed. Why hydrolyzed is needed? So or how this hydrolyzation of the acetylcholine or the adrenaline is going to occur, you may be having, or why that hydrolyzation is going to occur. Hydrolyzation is nothing but the breakdown of the acetylcholine or the adrenaline. Okay, so here, or why that breakdown should be observed in case of the postsynaptic membrane, you may be having that doubt, so please listen. So once the neurotransmitters which are released from the presynaptic membrane, which gets accumulated or which gets bind to the chemoreceptors, so the remaining or these neurotransmitters which binds to the chemoreceptors on the postsynaptic membrane, so those chemoreceptors the neurotransmitters will be broken down. Why? Because if there is no breakdown of the acetylcholine or adrenaline or the neurotransmitter, if it doesn't occur in the synaptic cleft, the accumulation of the neurotransmitter occurs. If the accumulation of neurotransmitters is observed, then it may cause the problem for the generation of the new action potential. So what happens once the neurotransmitter from the presynaptic is transferred to the postsynaptic membrane, so the chemoreceptors will bind with the neurotransmitters, and these neurotransmitters, once the inside the dendrites the action potential is generated, these neurotransmitters will be again hydrolyzed, will be broken down. For example, acetylcholine, that acetylcholine will be broken down by the enzyme called as acetylcholine esterase. So this acetylcholine esterase, it breaks the acetylcholine as acetic acid and the choline. So this broken acetic acid and the choline will again re-enter into the presynaptic membrane. Okay, so this is how the transmission of the impulse is going to occur in case of the chemical synapse. But in case of the electrical synapse, what happens? So here the electrical synapse, I have told these electrical synapse, they are faster when you compare with the chemical synapse. So in case of electrical synapse, what happens? The impulse, it is going to jump, you have seen in the saltatory conduction, so the impulse is going to jump from one node of Ranvier to another node of Ranvier, and you know that the synaptic cleft between the electrical synapse is almost reduced. So from the axon of one neuron, the impulse is going to jump from one neuron to the another neuron's dendrites, because the space in between these two is almost reduced, because it is just 0.2 nanometer. So thank you.